Hi everybody. So in the previous video, this is going to be part B. So in part A, we solved this system of equations, and we used what they call well. Actually, let me just stop the share. I just wanted to show you the original system of equations, and now let's go here to this is what we left from last time. So we finally got into at the end of it, we finally got this matrix here um, with a little triangle of zeros on the bottom. These little triangle of zeros. Shouldn't say that. You get that little bottom corner of zeros, which is the cascaded or tiered, whatever you want to call it. And then we did back substitution. Now this last matrix here is called row echelon form. Row echelon. I have no idea if I'm spelling that right, but I don't really care. Form. And the method of taking the original matrix and doing a bunch of operations till we get it into row echelon form, and then using back substitution, solve for all the variables. That's called Gaussian elimination. So what we did in part A, Gaussian elimination. So what we did in part A was that we did a method called Gaussian elimination, and that involves taking a matrix, doing a bunch of row operations, and getting into row echelon form. Now, what's row echelon form? That's when each row, the leading, the first non-zero term of each row is a one, which we have over here, and once you have a leading one, everything below it has to be zero. And we also um, like we also have the leading ones always go down, always go to the right as it goes down. Anyway, excuse me. So this is Roswell form. So now, what? And we got into Roswell form. We saw right away that W is equal to -2, and then once we had that, we got the next. We got Z, then we got Y, then we always want to go backwards, but that gets it. And we got our solution 1 comma 0 comma 4 comma -2, which I never actually checked, but we'll after this next part we'll check the solution. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to show you what we could have done. There's everything we did here, getting everything from beginning all the way here is the same thing, and we finally got it into row echelon form. Now, once we got to row echelon form, last time we chose to do back substitution. However, and that's fine. Now I'm going to show you what we could have done once we got the matrix to row echelon form, we could have taken a slightly different turn. And let me show you what that would be. So let me just copy this. Uh, let me just copy this here. So this is going to be. I'm just copying that last matrix. Okay, there we go. Okay, you guys can't see it. Uh, copying 11, 1, 5, 2, 6, -3, 0, 1, 1, -18, 40, 0, 0, 1, -43, 90, and then finally 0, 0, 0, 1, -2. Okay. Again, all I did is I didn't change anything. I just copied it word for word or number for number. Uh, this matrix here. So this is row echelon form. Now, what I could have done, if I wanted to, at this point, instead of doing the, and I'm going to write this here, row echelon form, row uh, echelon, and I have no idea how to spell echelon, by the way. It might be like that. I think maybe I have no idea how to spell it. Uh, you can look that up. I'm not sure. This. Just have to pause the video. So what I'm going to do now is a different thing that you could do. I'm not saying it's better or worse or anything like that. I'm just saying what I'm going to basically use is I'm going to use these leading ones. I'm going to use the leading ones. All the leading ones, as I mentioned, to be row echelon form means that all the leading ones have zeros underneath them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue working on this matrix to put it into reduced row echelon form. And the difference between regular row echelon and reduced row echelon is that not only do I have zeros below the ones, but I have zeros above all the ones. So I'm going to be left here with a bunch of ones and then all zeros, except for this last column here, which is the constants, on the other side of the equal sign. Anyway, um, what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to take 43 times row 4. I'm going to add it on to row 3. That's going to become my new row 3. So let's do that. 1, 5, 2, 6, negative 3, 0, 1, 1, negative 18, 40. And now 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. Oh, you know what? That ain't going to work, is it? Because you see, we just learned a valuable lesson here. And this is one of the things I want to show you. In all these things, order will often make a huge difference. You see, well, actually, I take it back. No, we're good. Actually, never mind. Never mind what I was going to say. Anyway, um, so this now becomes a 0. This 40, what was a 43? Let me put the bottom right here. 1, 2, 3, 1, negative 2. That 43 becomes a 0. Let's see, 43 times negative 2. Well, 43 times negative 2 is negative 86. Negative 86 plus 90 is 4. Um, and now I'm going to use, well, now, how do I get rid of the 6 and the 18? I need row 4. You see, row 3 is not going to help me get rid of that 18. And row 1 is not going to help me get rid of that negative 18 because let's say I multiply row 3. Let's say because if I multiply row 1 by 3 to make that positive 18 and add it on to negative 18, then I'm going to create all kinds of havoc. That 1 will become a 3. That 5 will become a 15. It gets added onto it'll just make total mess. So basically, the way I need to get rid of this is with this still with that 1 on row 4. So I'm going to multiply 18 times row 4 plus row um, 2, and that's going to be my new row 2. But I'm also going to multiply, similarly, I'm going to multiply negative 6 times row 1, row 4, I mean, sorry. Add that on to row 1, and that's going to become a new row 1. So again, I'm doing two operations at once. I could have done all three of these at once, but I just wanted to show you like a sort of step-by-step process. And now, what do we have? So I'm changing row 1 and row 2 are the rows that are getting changed. But the 152 is not being changed. The 152, because I'm only adding zeros onto them. Uh, the six becomes the six uh, becomes a 0, and the what do we have here? I'm negative 2, negative 6 times negative 2 is positive 12, plus negative 3 makes 9. And now for my next row, let's see again, these first three things 0, 1, 1. 18 is going to become a 0. And now 18 times negative 2 is negative 36, plus 40 is positive 4. And the rest of the stuff I'm just going to copy. 0, 0, 1, 0, 4, 0, 0, 0, 1, negative 2. Now, by the way, we can already see that the bottom line, the bottom row is basically saying 1 times W is equal to -2. And this is saying 1 times Z is equal to +4, which is what we got, which is the same answer we got previously on the previous page. Uh, what did I do with the previous? What did I do with the? Yeah, see, that was the answer we got before. We got Z was 4 and W was -2. So this is all working out similarly. But anyway, so what do I got to do now? So now I want it. So this column had so this one has all zeros above it. Now I want to put zeros above this one. So I'm going to take negative row three, -2 row three. Well, negative row three plus row two is going to become the new row two. -2 row three plus row one is going to become the new row one. And what am I going to have here? So again, well, what? So rows is actually row one and two. So row one and two are the ones changing. Um, so let's see, -2. Well, anyway, these first three things, the first two don't change. So I have one and at least not yet, 1 and 5, and that's going to be a 0 and a 1. And that's going to be a 0, 0, 0, 0. So nothing, because I'm only adding, zeros in these two columns. Um, now, -2 times 1 is -2 plus 2 is 0. So that becomes a 0. And these zeros here just stay zeros. And now this is the tricky one. This is the one that's really important now. -2 times 4 is -8. Plus row 1 is 9 plus -8. So that becomes a 1. Okay, now down to the next row. I'm subtracting, that becomes a 0. Here I'm subtracting 0, so nothing really changes. And now I'm subtracting 4 from, I'm getting this right here, from 2. I just want to make sure I'm doing everything good here. Subtracting 1 from, so subtracting the 1, right. I subtract that 4, that becomes a 0. Oh, which is good, which is what we got before, because before we got y equals 0. That's all good. So 1, 0, 4, and 0, 1, -2. And now I have one step left, which is that's going to be very simple, which is to get rid of that 5. And that's going to be super simple. That's -5 times row 2 plus row 1 becomes a new row 1. And that gives me 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 4, and 0, 0, 0, 1, -2. And now this now becomes what we call reduced row echelon. And what's great about this, that I don't have to do any back substituting because this top line of the top row of the matrix is saying x plus 0 equals 1. So which means x equals 1. And this says y, 0 plus y plus 0 equals 0. So that means y equals 0. And this tells me z equals 4, and that tells me w is negative. So I have my solution right here. 1 comma 0 comma 4 comma -2. So either way, is once you get it to row echelon form, that's what I was saying before. Once you get to row echelon form, you can you can do the back substituting like I did on the previous video, or you could just continue your reduction process, whatever you want to call it, and keep on going until it's a reduced row echelon form. So obviously, it's more steps to get into reduced row echelon form. It won't be as many steps. Part of it, this took long because I spent a lot of time explaining stuff. But if I would have cut out a lot of the talking and just notice that here is three steps. Here there's two steps, and there's one step. That's the which meaning because the bottom row is going to do three things, the next row is going to do two things, and this top row, the row two is going to do one thing. So it's kind of like I say, this would have been shorter if I didn't do all the explaining, but that's the way it is. This is a teaching video. Uh, let's so quick check. So let's we never really checked any of the answer. So we have 1 4 1 0. So let's just all right. So we have here or what is okay. Uh, 2 minus 4 minus 4. So 2 minus 4 minus 4 is 2 minus 8. Yeah, that is -6. And here we have 3 um, minus plus -2 equals 1. I'll just plug in the numbers here. Remember, the numbers are 1 0 um, 1 -2. Here we have 1 plus 8 minus 12. So that's 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 minus 12 is -3. It's all working out. 5 minus 4, that's 1. Minus -2 is plus 2. That's, yeah, 1 plus 2 is 3. And there you go. So the answer works out 1 4 1 0 4 -2. It's all good. The hero wins, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, bye everyone. It's been loads of fun. How do I get it? It's been loads of fun, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.